What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So if you guys have just been living under a rock, unless you have been, you should know the name MH-370. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, which took off, I think disappeared in 2011, I think? 99% sure. No, 2014. I lied. Disappearance, March 8th, 2014. And over the past, 10 years, they've been looking for it. So we're going to talk about it. Yes. We're going to now talk about planes again. This doesn't even look like it. Why do I have this? Anyway. So, I'm glad to announce for all the victims' families that Malaysia just reopened MH-370. Woo! Let's get that applause too. So anyway, it's like in 2025 they just reopened it. So in case you don't know what year it is. So if we go to the news, is this the news in BBC? Malaysia approves new search for missing aircraft MH370. Malaysian government says Malaysian government has resumed search for a passenger in one of aviation's greatest mysteries. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 disappeared in March 2014. Just now realized I had all my echo on. Anyway, let me try that again. The Malaysia government says it has agreed to, in principle, to resume the search for a passenger that vanished 10 years ago in one of aviation's greatest mysteries. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 disappeared in March 2014 while on its way to Beijing, China, from Kapela Kamara in Malaysia, with 239 people on board. Efforts to locate the records of the 777 have sputtered over the years, and home by those remained in strategy. On Friday, Malaysia's Transport Minister Anthony Loke said the cabinet approved in principle a 70M deal with US-based marine expert Ocean Infinity to find the aircraft. Under a no-find, no-fee agreement, Ocean Infinity will only get paid when wreckage is found. In 2018, a search for MH370 wreckage by Ocean Infinity under similar terms ended unsuccessfully after 3 months. A multi-effort that cost ended in 2017 after 2 years of scorching government involved the government involved Malaysia, Australia, and China. And they said the search warrant would be credible in evidence after the government has an example accepted Ocean Infinity's offer, Luke said. Negotiations over deal have not been wouldn't were still ongoing and would be finalized early next year. The search will cover 15,000 square miles of the Indian Ocean based on data that Kubala Kumar has found to be credible. We hope that this is positive, finding the records of those on board. Best Christmas present ever. The relatives of the passengers of MH-370 welcomed the Malaysian government's approval of the new search. I'm so happy. It feels like the best Christmas present ever. Giancarlo Gomez, wife of MH370 inmate supervisor Patrick Gomes, told St. Times. This announcement has mixed hope, and after 11 years, the plan of plane not having any answers, it's difficult for us. And telling would have told the papers her husband, and Mohammed, who was member of the cabin crew. Wait a minute. How are you a member of the cabin crew of MH370? When MH370 is missing. That's a little confusing. Anyway, Jones, whose mother was on the plane, told Reuters news agency that the miller must have a more open approach to the search to allow more players to take in part. In statement, Ocean said the Malaysian government decision was great news, adding, "We look forward to finding more information." And this basically tells you. Now let's see, is there any videos that are not just plain old? I'm gonna watch a video, guys. Tooth just decided not to come out. Once again, if you guys don't know what MH370 is, you might click off.
File free in the app if you didn't use us last year. Just file with TurboTax Do-It-Yourself by February 18th.
Oh, shut up.
The reason that they searched the seabed in the first place, we're talking about back starting in 2014, was that they had analyzed these signals from Inmarsat. They developed a theory of what had happened to the plane. They based a search area on that mathematical analysis. They searched it, the plane wasn't there. Now, the way the probability distributions work is that it's kind of like a fried egg, that you have the high concentration in the middle, that's the yolk, and then as you sort of get away from the middle, the probability gets less and less and less, right? Like imagine throwing like your watch out your window and into your backyard, and you just kind of throw it over your shoulder so you don't know where it is. Now, where is that? It's probably in the middle of your backyard. Maybe it's a little bit off to the side of your backyard. Maybe the further you go, it's not. It's almost certainly not 10 miles away, but it might be. The further away you get, the less likely it is. And so, basically, they have searched the best part of the probability distribution, and the further they go out, the less, the more meager the probability area is. And so even if you assume that the plane went into the Southern Ocean, which I of course don't, so even in the best case scenario, they're really unlikely to find it. So they searched along this band called the Seventh Arc, and they didn't find it anywhere within a certain distance from that arc. You go back and you recalculate and you think, okay, well, if you assume that it went south, and all these people did assume that it did go south, how come we didn't find it? Where did we go wrong? What did the plane do that took us by surprise? And so the answer is either it flew a little further after sending that last signal than we thought, or it fell right where we calculated, but when it fell, it kind of slipped into maybe a crevasse, or it fell next to a cliff and it was like hidden. So the way that these side scan sonars work is they send out a sound signal, and then the computers turn that into almost like light. It's like your ultrasound. If you've ever looked at your pregnant wife's belly, or your own pregnant belly, I guess, if you're a woman,
Why would you look at
then
your
you know what it's like. You can use sound to make an
belly?
image. And so, but as you know, shining a light on the ocean bed, if there's a cliff or something, maybe it's hiding in the shadow of that cliff. And so there's a certain small percentage of this area that they search that they think, well, maybe we just got really, really unlucky and it fell into that shadow or that crevice, and so maybe it's in there. These are both very low probability eventualities. Scan the seabed is they either drag sonar equipment over the seabed and then do it in strips, kind of like mowing a lawn. And you know, when you mow a lawn, you might miss a row. You could have like a strip of grass because you made the stripes too wide apart. Um, if that's what maybe they're referring to, that they missed a stretch. When the officials initially failed in their search back in 2017, I think it was, and they said, look, we didn't find it, they considered the possibility that something like this had happened. And in the balance, they thought, well, that probably didn't happen. Like, we don't think that that's what happened. They're out of good ideas.
Yeah.
And so they're resorting to the best of the bad ideas that they have. I think it will be a waste of time unless after they fail for the third time, they finally kind of acknowledge that there's something wrong. Like we've really used up all of the ideas we have. We have no ideas left to explain what happened to the plane, and so maybe we need to question some of our basic assumptions. And of course, what I would say is, here's a basic assumption that you can question. You have assumed that it's impossible for someone to conduct a cyber hack of this plane. And I have been talking to numerous cybersecurity experts who specialize in aviation who say that we have no reason to make that assumption. There's simply no basis for that. There's a well-known mechanism by which this plane could have been hacked and hijacked north, and to just sort of blindly claim.
Okay, so that's some of that video, guys. So let's just hope that they do find, and that they don't fail for a 59th time. I will end the video as I'm still scrolling. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys are a part of like the families that were affected by MH-370, I hope they actually do find it this time, because that would actually put a smile on my face, since I was alive when this thing went missing. And I would just love to see it come back up. Even though I know they would never actually, like, bring it up, because, one, it's going to be a graveyard, secondly, there's a million reasons why you do not bring MH-370 out of the water. Plus, all the families are just going to want their loved ones just to be at the bottom of the ocean, where they died. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and let's go plan 2025! Yippee.